Hi, friends. The year has just started, but we reality show lovers are eating good. With so many shows airing and still to come, a few of the shows were mentioned in the Patreon community chat, so I figured I might as well just, talk about it. So, on this episode, I will be talking about Traitors US, Traitors UK, Deal or No Deal Island, Love Never Dies South Africa, the challenge finale, and I'll just talk about a few other shows, not in depth, but just mention a few thoughts on those. Before I get started, though, I do want to mention again that my thoughts are with those in the LA area who are having to go through these fires. The news coming out of there is so sad, and honestly, I can't imagine the loss and everything that they're going through. I hope those who can are staying safe, and I hope and pray that this passes soon. Okay. So the first show I'm going to talk about is The Traitors US. I cannot hold my excitement about this show. Like, the first three episodes dropped on Peacock last week, and I am out of my mind because I am in heaven. I love this show so much, and it's just so fun seeing all your faves on one show. Like, we don't have, what is it called? Battle of the Network that used to be back in the day where people from different shows came and had all these little game shows. Even though I do hear Netflix is doing something similar, but it's just great. Like, for example, you get to see people you haven't seen in a while. It's been a minute since I saw Jeremy from Survivor. I'm rooting for him so hard, but honestly, he needs to stop talking about Danielle. Oh, I should tell you guys, like, spoilers alert. So if you haven't watched anything I'm going to talk about, this is an episode that is full of spoilers. Um, People like Tony that are back, honestly, people like Tony are dead on arrival. Like, as long as they didn't make him a traitor, there's no way he was gonna last because his reputation precedes him. And I think I'm surprised that they didn't make him a traitor. Maybe it was too obvious. But yeah, we have the three traitors who are Danielle, Bob, and Caroline. I mean, save for Danielle, I think I'm surprised at the traitor choices. I am not a Caroline fan, even from Survivor, but surprisingly, she has the better choices on the three episodes so far. But as she mentions there, they are not listening to her and she's being overrun. So I'm interested to see how this plays out because, for example, killing Dorinda as a first boot was a bad idea. Like, she was already on people's radar and they kept beating that housewives logic to death. And it's like, can we be more creative? Like, every year, everyone keeps blaming a housewife. And I don't know if it's because they're scared of Phaedra, but I don't know. I just think it was a bad idea. And she could have been a meat shield for them and at least bought them one extra day. I think so. I don't know why they did that. I was excited to have Bob as a traitor because, I mean, he does have the personality, but I don't think I'm enjoying it. Like, it's I don't know what the angle is, and maybe it's different as a viewer because everyone in the show is like, oh god, Bob is definitely not a traitor and he's so personable and all that. But I didn't like the whole thing with Zac Efron's brother. It just felt like an intimidation factor, and oh, your drag name is going to be misguided and all that. But the funny thing is, he is on track, and I know people love Bob so much they don't want him to be caught, but it'll be nice if they catch a traitor. Besides, they have too many traitors as far as I'm concerned. Um, I talked about the whole Dorinda thing, but I'm like, killing Ayan, what is the point of that? Like she said, she's not a threat to anyone. And I truly didn't understand why Ayan was cast when the cast was revealed, but she did entertain me. I found her whenever she was saying, oh, I have no idea what's going on. And she was leaning on Wells to explain to her what's going on. That was kind of funny. And it's good to have a whole balance of like the entertainment and then the gamers who are on there. Speaking of people that were cast, like, honestly, I rolled my eyes at Robin from Potomac. Not a fan, don't miss her, don't want to see her on my screen. And when she said she's good at reading people, guys, LOL. Like, that's not a thing that we want to see. Honestly, Sandoval, I get. I understand why. Honestly, Sandoval, I kind of get why he was cast. Like, I mean, he has that whole scandal thing behind him. Everyone is going to find him suspicious anyways. And I'm quite surprised that he's lasted this long. But again, maybe you think that people think that it's too obvious. I am enjoying Alan's digs when he said he didn't want to. Sandoval said he didn't want to be a traitor, that he wouldn't be good at it. And then Alan was like, if I make you a traitor, would you feel betrayed? And he's like, yes. And it's like, well, you know how it feels. And also, Sandoval is just weird. Everything he does seems performative. Like, it's almost like he's always asking himself, is this what a human being will do? I think that scene where he was consoling Danielle when she was fake mad that they didn't wait for them to have dinner and they had to sit on the water and things like that. Do you need anything? Do you want tea? I'm so sorry. I'm okay. It just didn't ring true like it was genuine. So I enjoy competitive reality shows, and while I enjoy the competitive aspect of it, I didn't think about the angle until I was talking to a friend and she mentioned that she hates the gamers. She doesn't watch any gaming reality show. I said gaming, competitive reality shows, because she goes like, they make it too gamey. And it made me think that, there are people who prefer the entertainment part of it. And I guess those are the people who are so mad with Dorinda and Ian leaving. And there's some people who don't actually watch any of these shows. Like, there's the flip of it. People who watch the competitive and don't even watch any Housewives show and don't know any of these people. And there are people who are entertained with just the few minutes or things that they saw of them. So, and there is a divide between the gamers and the non-gamers, and I think we saw this last season with MJ being mad at CT and Trishelle, or even season 1 with Siri and I forget their names, where they felt like, she took advantage of the personal relationship. But there's a line, I think I've mentioned this before, but even when Devon was on the GOAT and she was just playing a game and people were mad at her, Trinity the Tuck was mad at her, saying that she's so involved in the game. There is always going to be that disconnect, and they're not going to understand the mindset of the gamers. And now I'm beginning to wonder, should traders be like either be all non-gamers or just gamers and not have the mix? But if we don't have the mix, are we going to have the personalities? My answer would be yes, because when we watch Survivor, the challenge and all that, they're all gamers without with the entertainment. But I think I'm just thinking about it from my point of view. But there are going to be people who want to see. And part of the fun of this is just seeing people from worlds that don't collide, that come together, as we can see when the new competitors come, which is Wes, Rob, and Derek. And a lot of the people have no idea who Wes is. So that was funny and that was kind of sad. And I know that played into Wes's ego, but I think he expected it. He said the housewives wouldn't know who he was. But speaking of that, for those who don't know, Wes is from The Challenge. Rob he's a Survivor legend, and Derek is a Big Brother winner who I don't care for. But it was a lot. Like, they came in after the game had started, and I don't know if it was necessary. I mean, Rob came in the beginning and nobody wanted him to come in, and I think that was expected. But these people were pseudo celebrities, so they weren't gonna send them back, I believe, because they came in with the same format in the cage as the UK. I'm going to talk about the UK a little later, but only 2 in the UK made it in. Like, they had to do it in a certain time. So if they had followed that format, I don't think West would have made it in, and I think they wanted all of them to make it in. So I don't know why we couldn't have a woman. Why add 3 more men into this? But this is part of the misogyny that's kind of rearing in the 3rd season, because when we saw the whole boat situation, when they had to stop for fuel or have people drop out, they kept saying, we need strong men, we need strong men. And I'm like, do you know what Nikki Bella can do? Like, I watched her show and she's pretty damn strong. So, just taking out the women automatically is, we don't need that in 2025. So, yeah. But I'm a West girly. I'm happy that he's here. I do think Rob is a good addition. Derek, like I said, I can do without. I don't even know why he came on here. Oh, he has a podcast with another Big Brother winner, Cody. So maybe Cody did it, so he wants to do it. But like I said, Derek is kind of boring, so I don't know why he's here. I do think that making Rob a traitor is necessary, because he brings order to the chaos that these traitors are doing, because I don't think that they have rhyme or reason of what they're doing. But having four traders is a lot. I don't like the traders already have an advantage. So now adding more people that these people have to get, not like they're guessing them anyways. It increases their odds of guessing, but having four traders is a lot. So I don't know how I feel about that. I'm ready for one of them to be caught. I don't know. Oh, ladies, are you feeling overwhelmed by hormonal changes? If you're a woman, you're definitely not alone. There are more than 1,000 hormone disruptors living rent-free in our environment right now. In our food, our water, the air we breathe, the clothes we wear, our skincare, and they all mess with our hormones. Then there's the natural hormonal changes our bodies go through. There's perimenopause, there's menopause. Whew, it's a lot. And while it's a natural process, it doesn't mean we don't suffer through it. But I have good news for you. We don't have to suffer through any of this anymore because now we have Hormone Harmony, a formula made only with herbal ingredients that are shown to reduce hormonal symptoms in women of all ages. Happy Mammoth, the company that created Hormone Harmony, is dedicated to making women's lives easier, and that means using only science-backed ingredients that have been proven to work for women. They make no compromise when it comes to quality, and it shows. For a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use the code AltarCallMaths at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use the code AltarCallMaths, that's AltarCallMaths for 15% off today. I mentioned the misogyny, but I forgot to mention, I was like, it was also interesting that the three men came in and they gave shields to people and they didn't even give any shield to another woman. So I see people are pissed about them three coming in, but again, it is that gamer versus non-gamer personality. I think I saw someone online called Wes a washed up person, and that hurt my heart. But I don't know. I'm happy to see Wes. He wasn't in season 40, but not complaining. He's everywhere though. I know people are going on and on about him saying that he was retired or not coming on the challenge, but the challenge is like months and months and they get to do this. I think Traitors is like 2 weeks. So he's on Traitors. He just finished House of Villains. He's on Worst Cooks of America. And I guess he has his show on Amazon, The Blocks or something, for his entrepreneur stuff. So listen, Wes, make your money any way you can. I'm biased, so you're not going to hear me say something bad. Overall, I love the show. I still enjoy it. I think it was entertaining. Alan remains amazing. And I am ready to see how the rest of the season plays out. And I didn't feel bad for Tony. I don't understand how Tony has duped people, done things to people in Survivor twice, and is telling Rob that he's a sellout. Bye. Not our problem. All right. I'll move on to Traitors UK. Like I said, I am knee deep in Traitorland. I think the only thing I missed was the Rahab Traitor. I just didn't get the chance to watch that. But Traitors UK, this is good as usual, and it's always interesting to see that they have the same challenges and just in different orders. So I think I look forward to seeing the challenges that they have because I just watched episode 6 and I am interested to see how that will play out in the US version of that. One of my favorite things about Traitors is when they're so convinced that someone cannot be a traitor. Like, how can you come in a show like this? We have seen the format, we have seen the winners, and you still say, oh, they're absolutely faithful. Nothing is absolute. Suspect everyone. Do not trust anyone. So that's always amusing to me. And the other thing is when they're convinced that someone is a traitor, at that point, as much as I want them to stay, whoever it is, I always want them to be banished so that they look so stupid when they get up there and they say, I'm a faithful, because it just throws their game upside down and then they have to rethink it. And I'm saying this in particular about Liv, who, unfortunately got banished, but she's so convinced that Freddie is a traitor and he's not. And I really, really wanted him to be banished just so he could say, I'm not a traitor, and then she'll have to rethink her game. I like how it's going for the Traitors. Like, it's Linda and Mina that's going on. I really want Linda to be caught, but she keeps escaping week after week. I'm rooting hard for Mina because she holds all the power anyways. Linda just kind of agrees with anything that she's saying. I was kind of bummed to see Dan go. I also couldn't remember. I know he shared with us in the confessional that he was on the spectrum, so I didn't understand why they didn't understand the way he processes things would be different, and the way they banished him was because he was saying that he was being selfish and he was keeping things to himself and he was playing his own game, and they kept saying they can't trust him. But I don't know, if they knew that about him, I thought that would make things clearer for them and make them more understanding, but I guess not. These people are almost as bad as the Canada Traitors. I think the Canadian Traitors is the worst franchise. They're so bad at it and it's never satisfying to me. So I might be in the minority, but just not a fan of it. But at least they've caught one traitor, but it's only because she was begging to be caught, to be honest. She was just really out there. I feel like her game is kind of similar to Bob's, so maybe Bob is going to be caught pretty soon. I'm talking about this, and honestly, I don't know if anybody or any one of you guys are watching the UK, but if you don't want spoilers and you want to wait for it to come on Peacock, just skip over this, or you might not remember any of these names and it will not make sense. But it's great as usual. I will speak on Deal or No Deal Island. So I did not watch the first season. Well, with let me go back. Joe Manganiello is hosting this show now, and it's still so interesting to me how actors have now become like quiz show or game show hosts and all that stuff. But the first one, even though Rob was on it, I was just like, I don't know. Did I watch Deal or No Deal? It's been so long, I can't remember. But I just didn't have any interest, or I just didn't have any time or space to watch it. But there was so much talk about it, and Parvati is going to be on here. And I was like, okay, I'll check it out. And I enjoyed the premiere, and I am in it for the season. I have added it to my roster. The first boot, Luke, deserved to go. How can you make that many terrible decisions in such a short span of time? And also, I found it just annoying as he chose the briefcases. It was going football, this person, that person. Yeah, he needed to go. So I forget her name. The girl who has a crush on the guy from Survivor Australia. Is it Sydney? She's pretty irritating, and I hope she gets to go soon. So yeah. But anyways, I'm in on Deal or No Deal. So for those of you who mentioned it, thank you for recommending it and for making me watch it. We shall see how it plays out. So the other show that people talked about, like you wanted me to talk about, was Love Never Lies South Africa. I have never watched any iteration from other countries, but as soon as I saw South Africa, my friend told me like I had to watch this. And the way I feel about like reality shows, I feel like Australia does a really good version of reality shows. South Africa is rising in the ranks for me because they're unhinged and they don't care. They're 100% their self. Like they don't have that thing that the United States or even Australia has, where it's like they're aiming to be influencers after, or maybe they are and I don't live there, so I don't know, but they seem real to me, like good or bad behavior. They just go for whatever they're feeling in the moment. But for those of you who don't know, the Love Never Lies premise is couples come in. These are couples who are trying to get clarity on their relationship. They get asked questions, and then there's some kind of technology, some eye detector. It's like a lie detector that kind of tells you whether it's a lie or not. So a friend of mine told me that I had to watch this, and I did. And guys, 10 over 10, no notes. Like, this show was entertaining. The format is entertaining. So the premise of the show is couples come in here who are trying to get clarity on their relationship, if they should move forward or not. And they ask them a variety of questions. It could be anything from like, did you cheat when you went on the girls trip? Do you resent me for being the breadwinner and things like that? And they use like eye technology to see if they're lying. It's like a lie detector kind of, but it's some kind of eye technology thing. And then they do it in front of the group. And then if you answer truth, then you add money to the prize pot. If you answer a lie, you deduct money from the prize pot. Then somewhere along the line, they separate the couples. They put couples in different villas, and then they bring people, they match them with people to kind of experience something with someone else, see if it works. And then they play clips for their partners who don't know what's going on. And then you could take money out of the prize pot if you want to see an extended version, or if you don't want to, you could just let it be. And then they switch out, do it for the other partners, and then they meet them together, then ask questions based on things that have happened, kind of like Temptation Island. So it's a mishmash of all the things. So it was very entertaining. Like the host Minnie, she was giving looks, she was asking all the questions. And like every other dating show, I always think that these people should not be together, but somehow they still love each other through the toxicity. This was no different. I'll go through like the couples that are on here. So this was Naledi and Nikiwe. So we have Naledi and Nikiwe. Naledi is non-binary, and Nikiwe identifies, I don't know how she identifies actually, so I don't want to say that, but she has been married to a man before and has a kid, and now she's dating Naledi. They're in a polyamorous relationship, and now it seems like Nikiwe is not open to that. Naledi is the one who's really pushing for the polyamorous relationship, but doesn't want Nikiwe to be with anyone else. So it's so confusing. And then it turns out that Nikiwe is the breadwinner and the lady is not working. They didn't really go into detail about what it's about, but it just feels like Naledi was trying to eat their cake and have it too, and Nikiwe is going along with it. Like during the journey, she said something that seemed pretty like, why would you say that about her kid? And somehow Nikiwe forgave Naledi, and then come reunion time, it seems like they actually broke up. Naledi said some, strong words, terrible things, but Nikiwe still took them back, and I don't think they should be this for sure. They shouldn't be together, but they're still together. But it was very entertaining. Sia and Pretty, I don't know how they're still together, because Pretty was absolutely emasculating Sia. Pretty kept talking down to him, kept saying how she used to date men that are not like him, men that are good looking, men with muscles, men that have money, and she still chose to talk to him, and he should be grateful. And then when they switched partners, like Sia felt free, and he was free with the girl that he was with and was just, having fun. And his other housemates were telling him, like, he seems to be himself. And Pretty would see the videos and kept saying that he cheated because he took a body shot off of her. But I don't know how he cheated, but once she gets mad, she just says whatever. And she's like, I'm not a bad person, that it's not my fault if he can't speak up and things like that. But, they're still together. They moved in together. I think she likes having someone that she can control. But, hey, they're working towards marriage and having twins. So good luck to them. Wilfred and Clayton were a gay couple, and one of them had cheated on the other, but they forgave each other and they're trying to work through it. I think Clayton was the one who had cheated and is very, very flirty. So they were trying to work through that. But, I think they did work through that. I do think that they are cute. And yeah, Clayton is the one who cheated. And I do think they're cute, and they do seem to love each other. They've moved in together in Johannesburg. So it was interesting to see their journey. I didn't think it was going to work. I thought Clayton was going to, stay cheating. But I think he realized that he was doing what he was doing out of fear. The winners, who were Munaka and Honse, they had no business being together, because how do you get over, because they did one of the tests and the question was like, did you sleep with her best friend? And the answer was yes. Like, of all the people who were around, why would you sleep with her best friend? There was nobody else. Or the part where he said that their relationship was like a situationship. That's tough. That's very tough. But again, this is what makes the South African shows entertaining, because this is how the Ultimatum South Africa was as well. It was entertaining. And also in general, like, the sexual discipline is not present. They will sleep with anything and anyone who is available. So good for viewers. Kuda and Lynn, they've been in a relationship for 7 years. But if you have been in a relationship for 7 years and you've had 1,000 breakups, I do believe that's a sign that you shouldn't be together. So I am glad that she chose herself and actually walked away from the relationship. But she did give the most hilarious line of the season. Like, it's saying that it's not cheating when they look alike because she feels like her match in the villa when they were separated looked like Kuda. I do not see it. I do not think that they look alike. Her match was much, much cuter. And she's like, well, if she does anything, like, it's not cheating. That's hilarious. But the whole Broco thing was tricky. I wasn't really quite sure how that will go, but I think she should just choose herself. And Kuda seems so chill. I'm sure he'll be fine anyways. Nancy and Bohale, I cannot believe they had a kid together. Like, this man came in, their issue was that he didn't want to have sex with her, and he seemed totally uninterested in her, and he embarrassed her on TV because when they separated in the villas, he had sex with his match, and he still lied about a lot of stuff and didn't give the full story. And your issue cannot be when you come in, I don't want to have sex with you because he claims he's not stimulated, but then he had sex with another woman that he met within days of meeting her. That's kind of crazy. And, it was just disrespectful the way he treated that woman also, because Nancy's whole thing was like she didn't know if they used a condom, and it turned out that they didn't. She was trying to get plan B, and he was all like, no, don't get it, because he didn't want it to get out. But guys, he's on a reality show and kind of forgets that there's a camera. And then he kind of lied to Nancy, talking about, oh, it was just 3 seconds in and out. And she's like, no, we actually had sex. And she talked about other things where he would pull her off camera, ask her for a blowjob. Guys, this show, again, 10 over 10. So much was happening on here. But I don't know how true the eye test detector is, but I enjoyed it. Whatever the producers did, whether it was true or not, they asked the right questions, and I would definitely recommend it. I think it's just 8 episodes, but if you haven't watched it, check it out. Love Never Lies, South Africa. Okay, moving on to the challenge finale. I don't know, this season was a disappointment. I love the show with all my heart, but I don't know what the producers are thinking lately, but I think the format was ruined. You can't have a monumental season like this and have this whole group thing. They had a season like that when they were in Colors, Sapphire, and whatever. And it's like, you got it to the point where Era 1 only had one person. You should have just, if it was going to turn into an individual thing anyways, you should have just made it individual. Like starting with the Purge from the very beginning, making the Purge elimination challenges except one being physical. Maybe I'm salty because Nerys might have had a chance, and then everything else after that was like a puzzle and I don't know. I know I'm expecting too much from the challenge, but again, for a 40th season, this could have been way, way better. I'm pleased with the Jordan win. It was absolutely deserved. I know he can be a menace, but I will say this ad nauseum. What this man does with a disability is kind of crazy. I still don't know how I felt about all that swimming. It was a lot, like a lot of swimming. And I know in the regular finals it's running and that's a lot too, but I just feel like swimming is a different whole deal. Like, it's exhausting, and these were no small distances, and they just had to keep doing that over and over again, not eating, not sleeping, counting the coins and all that. I mean, I'm not even mad at that, and I get it that it's a lot of money and they're trying to make them work for it, but when Kylan started cramping and all that, I've just never understood making the finals so hard to the point where it doesn't look fun and you're worried about them. And I know they've had this, like, I think, was it War of the Worlds 2, the one in the desert? Now that was bad. Like, they needed like infusions to keep moving. And I think the other one, what's the last one Johnny won, where it was just in snow and they slept in bunkers? That just looked miserable. But so maybe it's the same. I think in my mind, swimming is just, it was just a lot of swimming, guys. Like, it just seems like it was a lot. Like, even though Jordan made it to the point where by the last segment he says like he had to rest, and the way they were guzzling that coconut water, I don't know, it just felt like that. And then also not having eating segments in a landmark season, that was weird. Not even like I like it. I don't like seeing the eating because it's just watching them throw up, and that's gross too. The joint win was weird. It was weird. I've been rooting for Rachel all season. I think in one of the episodes I mentioned that I was rooting for Rachel. But then when it happened and she had the joint win, I wasn't pleased. So, you know how sometimes you don't know how you really feel until something happens? At that moment, I wasn't pleased that she was part of the joint win. I don't even like Jenny, but I feel like she was robbed again. Like the first time she won, she beat Johnny, but they made it a whole one man, one woman thing, and then it felt like she had to share it. And now she kicked ass in the final. Maybe I just feel that way because I feel like Nerys was robbed. If they had made 39 a one man, one woman thing, Emmanuel and Nerys would have been the winner. And then now she's not a champion just because they wanted to have one winner. Like they need to stop with that. But again, consistency is not the name of the challenge. But, you know, she kicked ass. Like as much as Jenny was complaining, as much as I think that Jenny is not likable, she and Jordan were basically neck and neck. The women were great. They beat the men if they made it individual and stuff. And being there at the final and to share it again with someone who was consistently, I think Rachel was third in a lot of the checkpoints. And I know they're friends. I wonder how she really, really feels. But it was just weird. And it just didn't seem satisfying for me. So, like, abolish the karma points or whatever the heck that was. Like, it's the same thing with the stars. That's how Laurel won All Stars 4. Like, stop it and let people just win of their own thing. I think Jordan had the right idea. Jordan was just like, I have to think like there's no, like, whatever happens, the karma points are not going to affect me. Like, I'm just going to aim for it and try to aim for one. And it's so crazy. The only thing he lost was counting coins. This man is amazing. I think it's crazy how it affected the women by 1 point. I understand Michelle's points about, you know, being disappointed and she was crying, but she should still be proud of herself. I don't think anyone saw this coming. Like, everyone saw it. Like, I mean, one could argue that this was in her favor. It was a lot of swimming. It wasn't like the usual final. But I'm not a fan of Michelle, but I have to say she did well. Like, you know, she swam very well. And I mean, we knew she could swim because that season with Jay, I think she mentioned that she was on a swim team and there was a challenge that they won that involved swimming. So yeah, I wonder how Big T would have done in this. She's a good swimmer too. So yeah, but anyways, I'm not a fan of Michelle because she throws hands and hides her hands. And during that math portion, when she asked people to let her win, I just rolled my eyes because, like, how dare you in a final? And then I saw a preview of the reunion when they asked her who the most overrated challenger is. And she said CT, girl, bye. Like, again, not a Michelle fan, but yeah. Too bad for Tori and Kyland. I don't feel anything for Tori. I feel bad. I feel bad for Kyland because everyone keeps saying that he will be a winner one day, but I don't know how. When everyone currently sees him as a threat, his journey is going to be really hard. It's going to become like Horacio's, where they're going to keep throwing him in. And I don't know if his luck is ever going to run out in eliminations. But I also can't believe that Kylan peed on the sign on there. He must have been really pissed. I did see Jordan was on Zach's podcast and they asked him if Kyland is as hungry as he was. And Jordan said something about Kyland being obsessed and not being, like, he wouldn't use the word hungry. And Kyland just has everything on paper and he, you know, does, you know, systems and thinks about it and all that. And I just want to say again, Kyland has been very open about being, I think he said on the spectrum. And I just never understand why people don't put that into consideration when they say these things, because he processes things different. So yes, he's going to, you know, think things out on paper and, you know, combine it. I do think Kyland is hungry, I guess is my point of saying all this. And I would think Jordan would recognize that because that was him when he was younger. And I totally understand what he's trying to say, because in a little way, I do think Kyland is playing things because he knows all the stats and things like that. Like, even when he has his showmances, I actually think that it's calculated. I'm not going to lie to you. But I just think, like, people should give him grace because, again, he processes things differently. Well, we get the announcement that All Stars 5 is coming. Looks like we are soft launching Ashley back into the franchise. We were never told what the issue is. Those of us who are in deep know what we were told of what she said. And I don't understand why she's not just going to be in 40. If that's the case, if they were going to bring her back in All Stars 5, she might as well have been in 40. Like, it's just a big miss to not have a two-time champ in there. But, one thing you can count on with the challenge is it's never consistent. So guys, those are the main shows, I guess, that we talked about that I'm going to in depth. Everything else is just, things that I'm watching that I haven't completed. I started Selling the City, but honestly, it's just as boring as Selling Sunset. Guys, this may be an unpopular opinion, but I've always said that Selling Sunset is one of the worst reality shows on there. I mean, I still watch, I keep watching it, but it's just the fakest thing ever. Like, I know most reality shows can be fake, but don't let me know. Don't throw it in my face that it really is. But I think I find Selling the City boring. The Housewives are killing it. We have so many on right now. I'm sad that Karen isn't at the Potomac reunion. But she's in recovery, so in rehab, so hope she gets the help that she needs. But all I'm saying is that she better not get fired. We have had other housewives do things and they were not fired, so I do not think that she should be fired. Salt Lake City is ending next week. We're going to get a reunion. They had a really good season. Meredith needs to fix up because not sure what's going on with her, but it's just weird and odd. And again, don't know if this is an unpopular or popular opinion. I don't get Britney. A lot of my friends find her entertaining. Get her off my screen. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't want it. So things that are coming up. Love Island All Stars is starting on Monday. I'm excited to watch that. Married at First Sight Australia is coming up January 21st or something. Dubai Bling season 3. I don't know why I said December. Dubai Bling season 3 is out on Netflix. I dropped off on that show, but if you guys are watching it, let me know if it's worth picking it back up. I started Love is Blind Germany, but I have not made it past episode 1, but I know someone mentioned that they are enjoying it, so I hope to make it through. It's just harder to get through subtitles. I know I could watch the dubbed, but I don't enjoy it that way, so it's harder to watch those because they require concentration to read the subtitles. But guys, that is my highlight reel of reality shows that are going on. It's mostly like a Traitors and Love Never Lies recap, but I just threw in a lot of the things and just sharing with you guys what I think. So let me know what you think. Those of you who watched it, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know what you agree with, what you disagree with. But it's a great time to be alive as a reality show lover because there's a lot of things for us to watch. So see you guys in the next episode of MAFS. We're still going on with that season, and the countdown begins for Love is Blind on Valentine's Day. So thanks, guys. Until next episode. Bye.